Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Moose and welcome to episode 2 of my sealed only series starting with Albaz Strike. Episode 1 was a roaring success, we won the casual tournament, and now we're moving on to episode 2 where for the first time we get to upgrade our deck. Now I wasn't sure exactly which direction I wanted to go, so I decided to give myself a little versatility here, and I ended up picking up 3 copies of the 2021 Megatons, because inside we have Shadol, Dogmatica, Tri-Brigade, and all that good stuff. So, let's get into the opening, you'll see what I mean, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support this series, because it is a little financially draining, consider joining the Patreon, because it is always appreciated, and for dibs on our streams. Alright, 9 packs of 2021 Megaton packs. Let's see what we can pull. If we can pull anything really good, that would be amazing. Just to make our strategy a little bit more workable. Execution of the Contract, Gaia the Magical Knight, Buzzsaw Shark, Deep Sea Sentry, Infernoble Knight Astelo, Wind Pegasus, not the worst Dogmatica Punishment Dog. Ooh, Malfi of the Forest. Shout out to Reb's cards and his sealed only series. Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves, not bad. Torn Scales, not bad at all. Dogmatica Nexus, okay, and Drytron Zeta Aldibar. Okay, so not a bad, PK opening there, not the worst. Then getting into pack number 2. Let's go. Okay, some Adignista things, Crimson Resonator, Idol Reborn, Croco Dragons, a nice synchro to pick up, Heavy Forward, Super Heavy Samurai Wagon, Dogmatica Theo, not the Dogmatica we're looking for, but okay. Not what we're looking for either, and there we go, Tri-Brigade Ferrigite, the Baron Blossom. That is a lovely secret rare to pull, looks beautiful, and honestly we might just be building Tri-Brigades. We do have Mercuria already, and Tri-Branded is actually a thing. And now look, Brigand the Glory Dragon, so we get a rarity upgrade for the one that we already have. Alright, that is pack number 2. Tri-Brigade Ferrigite, the Baron Blossom, not bad at all. Let's see if we can pull some more. Deep Sea Minstrel, Code Talker Inverted, Doyon, Infernoble Knight, Link Party, Mutually Assured Destruction, Super Heavy Samurai. Titanocider is a really nice generic trap card, I'm happy with that. Virtual World Gigi, Picardia Ignista, Raviel Lord of Phantasms. Okay, that pack was kind of a dud. Alright. That's fine though, we're doing pretty well. I'm not unhappy. Let's get it to number 2. So, TIE Strike, Link Burst, Obsessive Overloop, Proxy of Magician, Deep Sea Artisan, Doyon Adignista, Noctovision Dragon, shout out to Dragon Link, Drytron Beta. Ooh, a rarity upgrade on our Fleur-de-Lis, that's nice. Can we get an Ecclesia as well? And a triple Tactics Talent, that is lovely. That is a great pull. It is what I was looking for. I am playing this in my normal branded deck, and that is fantastic to pull as well. Triple Tactics Talent, love to see it. And then another Raviel Lord of Phantasms. Wow. What is it with the Sacred Beasts? They just... Why do they keep showing up? I don't like them, but... Triple Tactics Talent and an ultra rare Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis. Given that we have 3 Fleur-de-Lis from the structure deck, I'm hoping we pick up Ecclesia rather. But it is what it is. We will take that, and we will definitely take the triple tack. Let's see. Okay, so we got Tri-Brigade Rugal, that's not bad. Tri-Brigade Nerval, that's nice. An ultra rare upgrade to our Fallen of Albaz, I'll take it. And Malice Lady of Lament. Okay. Not the worst, but not the greatest either, but we'll take the Fallen of Albaz and the Tri-Brigade stuff. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So we've now got a Nerval, a Ferrigite, and a Rugal, as well as the Mercuria, which is really nice. TIE Strike, Gachiri, Jacko Bolin, Deep Sea Prima Donna, Disposable Learner Device, Idol Reborn. Another Warning Point. Well, we already have 3 of this, but I like emphasizing how good this card is. A Geonator Transverser. Ooh, a nice rarity upgrade for our Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon, King Beast Barbaros, Adamancipator Signs, and King Long. Okay, not too bad at all. that's it for tin number 2. I'm still super happy about this particular tin with the fleur-de-lis and the triple tack, which, wow, that is very, very helpful for our collection, given that we know how much hand traps are in the format. And in the regionals specifically, I think I resolved triple tack like 6-7 times over a few rounds, so that's not bad at all. Draco Bolin, Deep Sea Prima Donna, Disposable Learner Device, Idol Reborn, Infernoble Arms, Triton Beta, Dogmatica Aiden. Okay, that's fine. Tri-Brigade Keras is a lovely hit though, that's brilliant. And Virtual World Roshi Laulau and Brigand the Glory Dragon. Alright, that's not too bad. So we got 1 Keras, 1 Nerval, 1 Rugal, 1 Ferrigit so far. If we can get a Shoot Egg and a Revolt, that would be great. Just to sort of add into the mix. Kusaria Ignista, Witchcrafter, Bellcat, Goki Guts, Jenny, another Warning Point, another Nocto, Virtual World Kirin Lily, Nail Shadal Aerial, that's not a bad card, and Invoked Agoides. Okay, not bad at all. So our pulls have been really good. We'll see how it goes exactly, but our pulls have been pretty decent so far. Last pack of today, and then we will build and see what we can do from there. IQ, Ibisella Lutia, Arcjet, Code Talker, Deep Sea Sentry, Merinsis, Traptrix Alomeris, not bad at all. I like this card. Perform Bell Turn Trooper, okay. Eye Contact. Alpha the Master of Beasts. This is pretty nice as a hand trap, or just like, you know, just something to drop on the board. I won't say no to that. That is pretty nice. And then lastly, another Shimmering Striper. Wow, okay. That did not go as planned. But we pulled pretty nicely today. So we got a Keras, a Nerval, a Rugal, and a Ferrigit. We got a triple tack, another Fleur-de-Lis, and an Alpha, as well as a Nail Shadal Aerial. So, not too bad. I'm happy. We will take this to deck building and let's see what we can come up with. See you guys in a bit. Alright, so let's go through the deck profile we'll be playing today. It will be fairly similar to the one we played last time. So, 3 Fallen of Albaz, including our rarity upgrade from the 2021 Megatons. 3 Albion the Shrouded Dragon, because it's still a really good card. 3 Tri-Brigade Mercurio, 3 Springans Kit, and 3 Keeper of Dragon Magic. So as you can see there, pretty much everything stayed the same. I think we've only made one change to the main deck overall. So 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Veiler, 3 Branded Fusion, 2 Branded in White, 3 Branded Lost, still 1 Branded Retribution. So that is our entire hand trap and, you know, Albaz branded package. Still got the 2 Pot of Extravagance. We're now adding in the 1 Triple Tactics talent that we pulled from the Megaton, which was very, very helpful, and I would be very glad to see it. This card did come up quite a lot at regionals when I was playing 3 of it. 1 Called by the Grave, 3 Warning Point, and 3 Dimensional Fissure. So, sorry, Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Fissure is way worse. Anyway, so that is it for the main deck. Extra deck stayed exactly the same, so 3 Albion, 3 Murderjade, 3 Lubellion, 3 Brigand, now with the 2 rares that we got from the Megatons, and 3 Titaniclad, 1 Ultra Rare that we got from the Megatons. Other than the rarity upgrades to the extra deck, we haven't really changed anything. Then coming into the side deck is where we start to get a few of the changes. Starting with, we've moved Chaos Dragon Legionnaire to the side deck to, you know, accommodate the Triple Tactics talent. We also added in the 1 Alpha Master of Beasts. It doesn't really synergize too well with our deck, but it is just a nice body that you can drop on the board if you are going second and use it to bounce, which is pretty nice. And then we're still playing 3 Radiant, which is, you know, a very nice card, and a Dark Kaiju. We like those. We're still playing the 3 Fusion Substitute because in case we need extra ways to get off polymerization, and because it synergizes well with, you know, the Keeper of Dragon Magic. Still playing 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, 3 copies of There Can Be Only One. I've added this in instead of the Waking the Dragons. We've changed the side deck a little bit because, honestly, I think this card may just be a little bit better, and because we can still use things like Branded Fusion if we don't have anything on field, and most of our monsters that aren't Fallen of Albaz or, Albion the Shrouded Dragon are not dragons. So if we can get out a Dragon Fusion, we can then go into Mirrorjade with no issues, and especially if you're playing against something like Eldritch, Bird Up, this will really help. And one more Branded Retribution just for, in case we need to send this card again off Albion the Shrouded Dragon to recycle our branded spells and traps by banishing it. I still don't plan on using this card's first effect ever, even though it is a counter trap. So that's it for the deck profile. We've made a couple of changes to the side deck and exactly one change to the main deck, but let's see how we do tonight and we'll take it from there. So, as I said earlier, our local game store was having a $50 budget tournament this week, which meant I couldn't play the triple tactics, and we went up against some weird decks. I won the die roll game 1. I came late, so this was round 2, so I had already gone X1 by the time I entered. Went first and activated Keeper of Dragon Magic, at which point I didn't quite know what my opponent was playing yet, but things seemed to be going my way. In turn 1, I managed to combo off pretty well off Keeper of Dragon Magic, going into Albion, making a Lubellion, pitching the warning point for the effect of Lubellion, and banishing Tri-Brigade Mercuria with Albion to summon the Lubellion. So Chainlink 2, using the Tri-Brigade, I managed to add Albion the Shrouded Dragon, and Chainlink 1, we shuffled back the Albion to make a Mirrorjade. So this was all pretty nicely done. We then used the Albion the Shrouded Dragon's effect in order to dump Branded Retribution, put it on the bottom of my deck and draw a card, at which point we've activated the effect of Mirrorjade, dumping a Titanic Lad to banish the Keeper of Dragon Magic in order to add Fallen of Albaz to our hand at the end of the turn. Now this all seemed like a really good turn 1 play, and thank God I went first, because I wasn't prepared for what was about to come. I had no idea what my opponent was playing. I was about to find out. It was Monarchs. One of the worst matchups you can possibly have for this deck, but what can you do? You're playing against whatever you're playing. It's a $50 budget tournament, and he used Monarch Stormforth to kind of rip my board apart, which was not the worst. Well, not the worst play he could have done, kind of the worst for me, but it happens. Still, going off, he had March of the Monarchs on field. I managed to start my turn off with a Gold Sarcophagus, banishing the Tri-Brigade Mercuria again to be able to add cards to hand in order to get out of this jam. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but I think we managed pretty well. So we added Fallen of Albaz off the Tri-Brigade Mercuria, and then he actually just comboed off from there. It wasn't ideal, but then he summoned out his fairy dragon thing, which allowed him to bounce it back to his own hand in order to take control of my Fallen of Albaz. Which was just fine by me, to be honest, because Fallen of Albaz was still going to be on the field. He couldn't bounce it off the field itself, so even if he managed to bounce his own dragon back, I still had a target for my own Fallen of Albaz. So he used its effect to bounce it back to his hand, and then I just contact fused with the 2 monsters on the field to summon out Albion, go into full combo, and we just sort of went from there. It didn't seem like he had much that he could do after we made Albion, Lubellion, Mirrorjade, and then just, went off from there. So he scooped, and we went into game 2. Now game 2, I gotta tell you, was a whole different story. He started off by ripping a card from my hand, which was, not ideal when you're going up against Monarchs. You actually want to be able to keep your cards in your hand. But then things just got worse. He went off with March of the Monarchs, went through his whole combo, and eventually, revealing 3 Domain of the True Monarchs, I made the difficult decision to pick Domain of the True Monarchs, and he then Domain locked me at the end of the turn. So what can I say? That was the quickest game 2 of my life. I drew for turn and immediately scooped, and we went to game 3. Game 3 I went first, starting off with Gold Sark, banishing Tri-Brigade Mercuria. Honestly, the one of Gold Sark really came in clutch here, and searching out the Springans kit, using Springans kit's effect to search Branded Fusion and bottom 1 card from my hand to the deck. Then went into Branded Lost and Branded Fusion, making a entire combo, getting the Fawn of Albaz and the Ghost Ogre out for the Albion, then getting the Albion to the Lubellion and shuffling back Fawn of Albaz and Lubellion for Mirajade, at which point I, added a card from Branded Lost and shuffled my deck. And then at the end of my opponent's turn, he had Vanity's Fiend with Domain of the True Monarchs and March of the True Monarchs, but luckily, Mirajade was already on field with a non-targeting banish effect, and since he no longer had a tribute summon monster, I could go off my entire turn, and since I dumped Albion to add Branded Fusion, that was just game, so round 1 went to me. Round 2, I lost the die roll and my opponent made me go first, which I was very confused about. Then he veiled my Springans kit, I set 1 and passed turn. He summoned Keeper of Dragon Magic, so I felt a lot better. He pitched 1 and I warning pointed the Keeper, so he was forced to set 1 and pass. I went into my next turn and drew Branded Fusion off the top to make Albion and then go into my entire combo, which was, exceptionally helpful to summon out the Mirajade. Then I ended up just attacking over for some damage, hitting in, and that was that. So next turn he played Branded Lost and Branded Fusion. I couldn't really do anything about that, sending Fawn of Albaz going into his own combo, making a Titanic Lad, and then attacking over my Mirajade itself, because his Titanic Lad was 38. He also used Kit to add a card, pitched Thryberg Mercuria to stop my banishing effect, and yeah, that wasn't exactly ideal. Not much I could have done about that. He did get branded in white, but then when he went into actually attacking, he also activated Branded Sword, which was not ideal, so giving himself 2 tokens with 2500 attack. Attacked over my Mirajade, and because I am exceptionally smart, I forgot to trigger the effect of Mirajade, then attacked into my Albion and I took 4200, triggering the effect of Albion in the end phase in order to add Branded Fusion to my hand. So we were in a rough spot, but since we had Branded Lost in hand and Branded Fusion, we were pretty okay. Went into Albion, went into, the entire combo, went into a Mirajade, searched off Fallen of Albaz from Branded Lost, summoned Fallen of Albaz, fusing off his Titanic Lad and my own Fallen of Albaz for my own Titanic Lad, which was a pretty nice move, banishing his token with the Mirajade, and then attacking over for game. So we went to game 2. Game 2, he decided to go first, but luckily for me he bricked and had to set 2 and end his turn. I went and I started off my turn with Albion the Shrouded Dragon, pitching Fallen of Albaz and returning Albion to the bottom of my deck and throwing a card. Then I went into my Branded Fusion, which he Solemn Warninged, costing him 2000 life points, but luckily for me I had another Branded Fusion in hand, and since its original activation was negated, I was able to combo off really nicely into an effect Veiler. But the Veiler meant that I hadn't normal summoned yet, so I pitched Dark Rule no more to search out the third Branded Fusion from my deck as follow-up play for next turn, and just attacked in for some damage, but since he had back to the front, we attacked in for 25. On the next turn, he kaiju'd my Albion, which wasn't ideal, but again he bricked and only set 2 and pass, and in the end phase I forgot to trigger Albion because I'm exceptionally smart, went for Branded Fusion and went into my entire combo. So, that was basically the game. So round 3, or technically round 4 because I missed the first round, I lost the die roll to Prank Kids and he comboed off because I had no interruptions in my hand and nothing I could really do. I think I may have had a Ghost Ogre, but there was really no timing to activate it. So I just sat there and watched as he did his full combo, which I won't attempt to explain to you because, well, I'm not going to pretend that I memorized Prank Kids combos at this point. I just know that he did a lot of summoning and I don't have Nibiru. I did Ghost Ogre at some point, but he had the called by, so it didn't really matter. And at the end of his turn, he ended up setting 3 and passing, which was, not a great thing for me. I went into my turn knowing that I was in for quite a battle. Then I drew for turn, normal summoned Keeper of Dragon Magic, and this happened. He just effect veiled me, and that was game, so we went to game 2. Game 2 I went first, which was helpful. I started off with Gold Sock, banishing Mercuria to get Springans Kit, normal summon Springans Kit, and immediately got veiled again, so I set 1 and passed. He special summoned out the Pancratops, popping my Branded Retribution, and yeah, then he summoned Alpha and attacked over my kit. Not ideal for me. I kaiju'd the Alpha to summon Fallen of Albaz, went into Lubellion, had to pitch the warning point for it, which was not ideal for me, to summon out an Albion. But given that I didn't have a Fallen of Albaz in grave to use as follow-up material, since you want to make Lubellion second, I couldn't go into Murderjade, so I could only attack in for 500. That was about it. And then on his turn he comboed off like crazy, and to be honest, there really wasn't much I could do as counterplay. He had the game in hand. There was really nothing I could do and no follow-up that I could hope for. I had no cards in hand. So at the end of his turn, as he was going, I scooped, and that was my first official, game loss for the night, but X2 going into round 5. So, going into the final round of the tournament, I was now X2 and playing against the guy who taught me actually how to play Branded Despia, who was playing today the actual Generator Despia, something like that, or Dreamer Despia I think it was. I don't even remember. What I do remember is his turn was quite cracked. This was... I don't even pretend to remember the combos. I know that I was looking at this, just looking utterly defeated at this point because I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Then he Branded Fusioned and I was in a little bit of trouble because he went for, the Albion, went for the Murderjade, and that was that. So my brain was going into its own sort of sphere when it came to the start of my turn. Wasn't quite sure what I could actually do to get out of this. But, Albion the Shrouded Dragon comes in clutch all the time to draw an extra card. I drew Branded Lost off the top, which was really, really helpful, especially when I had Branded Fusion in hand already. So, we went off into the Branded Fusion combos, made a Lubellion, and then shuffled back that and added Springans Kit off of the Branded Lost, made an Albion, and we banished stuff for another Lubellion, which was not ideal, but we did what we had to do. So I'm going to skip ahead a bit here. We both ended up using our Murderjades in my turn, and then in his next turn he pricked and he had to scoop, so luckily I won game 1, and we went straight into game 2. Game 2, he went first, and honestly this game was again a lot of back and forth in the same vein as the game before it, where we both ended up comboing off pretty well and pretty extensively, even though both of us didn't really make interruptions. We made no negates, some interruptions, no negates. But we managed to do okay, and the problem was that he got a set branded in red, which I then needed to bait out. So I made Fallen of Albaz, we did what we could, and then we ended up making Albion, Lubellion, and going into a Murderjade with a Springans Kit in hand, which was really nice, adding the Branded Fusion. Since we'd normal summoned Fallen of Albaz, we still had Branded Fusion, so we made Branded Fusion for a Titanic Lad, which was, just an extra body on board, but it wasn't enough. He branded in red, did some cool things, and then made his own Murderjade. And given that, again, we both ended up Murderjading our opponent's monster off the board, we ended up just, with him going into his turn, having branded in red and me having an empty board, so I had to scoop for game 2, and we went into game 3. Game 3, I went first and, started off with Albion the Shrouded Dragon and went into my combos from there. Had a Springans Kit, added the Branded Fusion, which was really nice. We had branded lost, branded fusion combo again, and the problem was we were going first here and we only had about 5 minutes left in time, knowing that if anything was going to happen, I had to make sure that I was protected and that I didn't die on turn 2. But there wasn't really a way that I could do that, so I just went into Albion and Lubellion, and then into Mirajade and set one pass. My opponent started off his turn with Dark Ruler no more, which meant that I couldn't take any damage for the turn, which was nice. He started off comboing off, but we eventually reached a point where we realized there was like 8 seconds left. Neither of us was going to get another turn, and there was no way for either of us to do damage. So that match ended in a draw, and the tournament ended in a 2-1-2 for me. So overall, not a bad experience. The budget tournament was really interesting. I had a lot of fun. And stay tuned for the next episode because we got something really exciting. Make sure you don't miss it.